Hi guys, and welcome to my very first episode of Ilna in Canada. I am doing this video in English because apparently there are more than the 44 Afrikaans speaking people in South Africa that wants to learn about Canada. So I'll be doing it in English, but I will be posting my previous videos as well. Those are in Afrikaans. And so if you do miss me speaking Afrikaans, please go and watch those. And without the risk of sounding like a teeny bobber, please do subscribe to this channel, and we can discuss all things Canadian and what you're considering and why you're considering it and what I can show you. So that's what my channel is going to be about. Now, first episode will be, what is your why? Why are you thinking of immigration? Why are you thinking of leaving South Africa? Or why are you in the process of doing it already? And speaking to many of my friends, many other expats and SAFAs, South Africans here in Canada, as well as a lot of you that are still in South Africa thinking about coming over, I have narrowed it down to 3 basic reasons why people are thinking of leaving South Africa.
"Where are we going?" asked Pooh. "I don't know," answered Piglet. So they just started going. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Jumping right into the reasons why people want to leave South Africa, or is considering immigration rather. The first reason would be people say that they want a better future for their kids. Their kids are still young and they don't see a future for them there in South Africa. So remember that saying, a parent is only as happy as its unhappiest child. I think the same counts for the kids. They can sense when parents are unhappy or worried, or they pick up on those feelings. And if a parent is coming to Canada for the only reason is for a better future for their kids, then they might not adjust, or they might not feel whole when they're here. And the only reason they keep telling themselves why they have to stay is so that their kids can have a better future, so that their kids can have a better future. And kids pick up on that, and that might not be the best future or experience for a kid, for their present, to go through that kind of emotional stress, and then it might delay their adaptation to society here and to everything that's new if they pick up on the parents not being happy here. So if they've got a specific structure in South Africa and a routine and a lot of help that you have, because it does take a village, and you think that it might not be sustainable to have that same support system, or it's inevitably not going to be the same. But if you don't feel like you can provide what is necessary emotionally and physically for your kids alone, or you and your partner alone here in Canada, then that might as well not be the best choice or the best present circumstances, which relates to the best future for the kids. So that is something to consider. And if you think that you are happy in South Africa and you've got everything is working for you and your kids are thriving where they are now, then I would suggest maybe putting away money rather than immigrating. Put away money every month to secure for them to be able to study overseas. And then when they're adults, then they can decide where they want to go study, what they want to do, and they've got a better future in any way that way. Okay, so reason number 2 why people want to leave South Africa, that's an obvious one. It's because of the high crime levels and load shedding that are driving people insane. And believe me, I understand, I get it, I was there. And for me, having electricity and being safe is a basic human need. And I just want you guys to consider once again that if that is the only reason, once your physical needs are met and you're comfortable, having electricity, being safe, is that enough or sustainable for you to be happy if you don't have emotional reasons that are tied to them about when coming over to another country. Because when you're uncomfortable, obviously you get emotional, and when you're emotional, you tend to make emotional decisions, and the grass seems to be greener on the other side. But if those are your only reasons, when once the basic needs are met, is that enough to sustain you to make this huge shift?
Now, trust me, guys, I don't take walking like this for granted, and I don't underestimate the value of me being alone here during the day, wherever, just walking in the park. See, just by myself, no one here, with my cell phone, obviously, and my handbag, and I don't have a worry in the world. I do realize the value of this. I do realize how amazing it is to be able to be safe and secure and not have to worry and look over my shoulder or get into my car quickly. My only question is that enough? If that is the only reason why you would want to leave South Africa, is it enough? I moved to Australia in 2007, to Perth, Australia, and I lived there for about just over a year. And that was when load shedding was really starting to pick up and in South Africa. And the crime obviously has always been there. And I wanted to know what it's like to be able to live freely, if you can say it like that. And it was, Australia was safe, and it was clean and beautiful. And I was so unhappy. I just wanted to go home. I couldn't stay there. Every day I woke up, I was unhappy and I wanted to go home back to South Africa. And that just goes to show that it's not about the country, because I know of thousands of South Africans that are so happy in Australia and that made a whole life for themselves there. So it's not about the country, it's about what are your reasons, and is it just to be safe and just to have clean, safe environments, or is it more? Because people get used to being safe and they get used to being, having electricity all the time. So it's not enough. You take that for granted after a while. And then when you're safe every day and you've got electricity every day, you tend to miss the emotional stuff that's back in South Africa. And if you didn't come here for the reasons, or if you came here for the reason only to have safe environments and electricity all the time, that is a physical need. And when you have your physical needs met, then you take that for granted very easily, and that has to then sustain you, having that only. And I don't think that'll be enough for most people. So that can't be the only reason. Although it is a beautiful reason, it can't be the only reason.
Okay, guys, so we came to the third and last reason why I think people would want to immigrate to Canada. And that reason will be for adventure and opportunity. And that was my husband and myself and our little family. This was our reason for coming to Canada. I must disclose that I cannot really tell our story without involving God. Because he is such an integral part of our lives, and he orchestrated everything for us. So if you are not a Christian or you don't believe in God, no worries. Don't be offended if I do mention it, because it was all glory to God in our story. Basically, my husband and myself, for some reason, have always wanted to live in America. We never had the European dream. We've always separately wanted to live in America. And then when we met, that was one of our first discussions that we had, with the excitement of wanting the same dream. And when my husband got an opportunity to go and work for an international firm, he mentioned it to his his bosses and partners there, and they actually agreed to say, and they said that there are so many opportunities in the line of work that he was in Canada. And we never really explored Canada. So I did my research and I realized that, wow, Canada has all the benefits of America, and it's a very family friendly environment and country. And they welcome immigrants of any country with open arms. And maybe that is something to explore. And we did our research and we got more and more excited as we realized, yes, this is actually the country that we are meant to go to. And it was a gebedsaak, soos hulle sê in Afrikaans, for over 3 years. We prayed about it, we believed it, we put our faith in it, and we honestly, truly know that God was telling us to come to Canada. And it was a 3-year process of working towards it and getting everything ready and preparing ourselves and our kids for it, because it had to be in the exact the right time for them, for us, and we knew that God will show us when that time would be. And after 3 years, we finally got the opportunity to get an intercompany transfer for my husband, and then we made the move, and it was perfect timing, perfect city that God led us to, perfect environment, wonderful friends here in Canada. So, but I have to state that it was because of, yes, we had the opportunity, but we wanted the adventure. We were craving the adventure of starting over and trying a new country. And it's not easy, and it really is starting over. And we arrived with 8 suitcases basically, and our whole lives were packed in that, everything that was important to us, beside my kids being by my side, was in those 8 suitcases. And we were excited, and we got to our house that we now have, that we rented when we were still in South Africa. And we slept on mattresses, and we had a TV on the floor because that's a must in our family. Sorry, we need TV and them Netflix and them Disney Pluses. And that was our life, and we didn't have a lot, but it was so exciting, and we just knew that this is where God wanted us to be. So it was an adventure, and it was fantastic, and we embraced the culture, and we celebrate all the celebrations that Canada has, Canada Day and Victoria Day, and everything that Canada celebrates, we celebrate with them, and everything that Canada mourns, we mourn with them. And you bring your traditions, and you bring your braai, and you speak your language with the other South Africans that are here, and all of that. But when you do decide that you are going to have a journey and embrace a country, whichever country that is, you have to remember that it's not going to be South Africa. It is another country. It's a different culture. It's a different way of doing things. Everything is different. We find it positively so, and we find it a good different, but there are people that that do not agree with some of the things that the Canadians are teaching or doing, and for them those are hurdles, and they don't want to cross those hurdles. They don't want to go through it. They just want it to go away and be the same as South Africa. And you can't do that. If you want the journey and you want to experience the whole journey from start to finish, you're going to have to embrace everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So guys, that's my 2 cents and my opinion about why I think people want to immigrate and leave South Africa or come to Canada. And let me know in the comments what videos you would like me to make, and we'll show you. I think the next video I'm going to do is on all things shopping, clothes shopping, family of 4, getting expensive, where you can get some bargain buys, and what it looks like here in Canada. So have a fabulous day, have an incredible week, whatever day you are watching this video on, and hope to see you soon. Bye.